Good morning. It is Thursday, and I'm here with your bell ringer from the Wednesday question. The Wednesday question asks you about countries that were core, semi-periphery, and periphery. This is something we actually just did in our political geography unit, but the National Council for Geographic Education puts it in Unit 1, where you're just trying to think broadly about how countries work and how countries function. So you have three groups of countries, and you're asked first to label them as either core, semi-periphery, or periphery. I'm going to actually do this answer all at one time, so that you see it all in one place. Meaning that with each of these groups, we're going to walk through there. And we're going to think about what it means to be part of the core, semi-periphery, and periphery. And a lot of students will just immediately say, well, you're core because you're the most developed. You need to have a little bit stronger understanding of that. If your answer on an FRQ on the AP exam said that a country was a core country because it was a developed country, you're not going to get the points. Okay? Because all you really done is say that a country is developed because it's developed. You didn't really give an understanding of what that means. So let's talk about what it means to be part of the core. Okay? The number one thing, the giveaway for core countries, is that the bulk, the largest section, the largest group, a lot of, most of, or more employees than any other type are in the service sector. The service sector of the economy is the largest section. And of course, that is the hallmark of a post-industrial society. You've already had your industrial revolution. You still have factories, you still have farms, but they are not the focus of what your country is about any longer. Okay, so if we look at this list, we have Austria, Germany, Poland, and Sweden. Now, hopefully those immediately stood out as the most developed countries on the list. But you can't just say they're core because they're the most developed. You'd have to say something like they have post-industrial societies. They have service sector dominated economies. Or there's one other possible answer. You could talk about how those countries are at the center of a larger geographic network, that they form the core or the focus of what drives a portion of an economy. Okay. All right. Semi-periphery. Semi-periphery countries are those that are experiencing their industrial revolutions. So this is where you want to think about the BRICS: Brazil, Russia, India, China, Korea, Singapore. Okay, countries that are in the middle of their industrial revolutions. There are other countries that are obviously part of the semi-periphery that aren't a BRIC. The BRICS are the countries that are doing the best at growing their economies through industrial revolution. And since we've already said Brazil, you can see that Brazil, Turkey, Poland, and Egypt. Now, Egypt is the one that might be a little bit of a fooler to you, but the key here is the bulk of Egypt's economy is doing manufacturing, not agriculture. Okay? They've already moved away from primary sector economic activities as their sole important force. They are having their industrial revolution. The secondary sector, the transformative sector of the economy, is the largest in each of these. And some of you are like, how do I know that? You are expected to have in your toolkit for the AP exam information about what countries are in the core, are in the semi-periphery, and the periphery. In fact, you don't have to be an expert on Turkey, Poland, and Egypt, but as soon as you saw Brazil on that list, you should have said, that's one of the BRICS, that's a semi-periphery country. Everything else is going to be in the semi-periphery as well. Okay, and then finally we have the periphery. And this is where students would again be incorrect in saying the periphery countries are those that are the least developed, and then just being done. You have to show more understanding. So here with our periphery countries, what we need to say is that these are countries that are experiencing agriculture, or more inclusively, primary sector economic activities are the driving force of these economies. They farm for food. They mine for oil, diamonds, coal. They extract timber. Fishing is the number one. Whatever it is, the combination of those primary sector economic activities, those extractive sector activities, that's the largest or the driving force. So, and again, you're like, wait a minute, I don't know which countries are periphery exactly. The giveaway is think least developed countries, and then say or give an answer here that goes beyond that repetitive understanding. Zimbabwe, Iraq, Chad, Honduras, they are amongst the least developed countries in the world. You don't have to be an expert on their economies. You don't have to say which type of extractive sector they're doing, but you just say extractive sector, primary sector economic activities are their focus. Okay, so don't forget that you have an AP class, actually 2 AP classroom assignments that are due. Please make sure that you're getting logged in and doing those sorts of things. I have access to Power School once again, and so I'll be updating which assignments you've completed and which ones you haven't as far as the turned in assignments. I'm going through and trying to make sure those things are updated. I would not expect that to happen for everyone by the end of the day today. I haven't had access to Power School now in about 3 weeks, so it's going to take a while to get things caught back up. But that'll be our primary method for determining whether or not you have completed the assignments you need to or not. All right, if you have any questions about anything, please send them to me. Otherwise, have a good day, stay safe.